Greetings. Tonight's story comes to us from an email from Penny. Penny and her three friends, Cheryl, Christine, and Maria, decided to venture out on a overseas trip to Thailand. It was only the four of them. No boyfriends, no girlfriends. Just friends. Maria had booked the excursion. Maria was always very good at organizing. None of the four has ever been to Southeast Asia, much less Thailand. Most of the prime resorts and four-star accommodations were already booked, but the trip still would go on. They were referred by a travel agent to a far-off hotel. Upon arriving at the hotel, they were directed to stay in room 1414. Up to this point, the trip had been uneventful. But upon arriving at the room 1414, a strange, pungent smell permeated the room. Still, the four of them were having a great time. Drinks were ordered, and they began to settle in. By and large, the hotel was unremarkable. The weather was hot and steamy, and the air conditioning worked. Christy and Penny would share one bed in the double, and Cheryl Maria the other. As they adjusted to the time zone, being almost 12 hours opposite which they were accustomed to, they were wide awake despite the drinks. Although the plane ride had been a lengthy, nearly 24-hour adventure, they started to doze off around 2:30 Thailand time. Unsure, somewhere around 4 and 5 a.m., Cheryl started abruptly screaming. Was she having a panic attack? Was she having a nightmare? Christy, Penny, and Maria all woke up. They looked at Cheryl. Her eyes were withdrawn and retracted. She was mumbling in some strange words. Not sure if they were a language they ever heard. She looked like she's having an epileptic seizure. They tried to wake her, although modern folklore suggested otherwise if a person was sleepwalking or having night terrors. Regardless, they could not wake Cheryl up. Cheryl had always been the type of person in touch with the other world. Stories from her parents remarked at how at a young age Cheryl sometimes saw things, or heard things, or even had premonitions. Being devout Catholics, her parents did not encourage this. Cheryl herself grew terrified of these sightings and shut those out. As she grew older, past adolescence and into young adulthood, these abilities waned. But now in the present, in room 1414, Cheryl was in full blown possession. She started to grab at Penny and Christy with strength that was unimaginably strong. Maria began to flick on the lights, charge into the bathroom, filled an empty water bottle of water, ran back, cleared Christine and Penny out of the way, and doused Cheryl with water. Nearly even drowning in the water, Cheryl finally woke up. Her heart beating out of her chest which felt caved in by some unexplained weight. She could not remember a thing, but kept uttering, "The room was full of blood." Christine did not hesitate. She ran down to the front desk, demanded to change rooms. When she returned back to room 1414, she had found Cheryl calm, Penny and Maria with stunned, silent, gaped mouths. Christine asked, in a slight whisper, "What happened?" Cheryl just shook her head silently. Penny and Maria mirrored her shaking head. Finally, after a long duration of silence, Cheryl adamantly said, "We need to get out of here." Christine had reassured the rest of them that the night manager was making accommodations for another room. To that, Cheryl abruptly demanded, "No, we need to get out of this hotel." Of course, Christine asked why. Cheryl merely shook her head and said, "I don't know exactly why, but we need to get out. The three others trusted Cheryl and did not push the issue. They left the hotel, found accommodations elsewhere, and tried to enjoy the rest of their trip. To this day, the four do not speak of what happened in room 1414. Have a good